Afternoon. It's Friday, March the 31st. This is Mary Lou Foster, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. I am located about halfway between Dallas and Texarkana on I-30. So if you know anything about Texas, that gives you some idea of where I'm located. Alright, let me see if I'm live yet on one of my devices so I can check in and check on volumes and that kind of thing. Not seeing myself just yet. There's a big delay. So anyway, today we're going to make a card and we're going to talk about retiring in colors and going ahead and placing orders for retiring products. The list was released. You should have gotten an email from me this morning with that list. I worked it as good as I could to get it down to an easier way to read it, but you may just have to enlarge it and kind of fiddle with it yourself. These things are while supply lasts, so if you don't hurry up and get your favorite, you might miss out on it. I'm probably pretty well stocked, and I'm waiting on the pre-order now, because as demonstrators, we get to see the new catalog ahead of time. It's one of the advantages of being a demonstrator. It's really fun to get to do that. Well, I'm just not seeing, excuse me. Hopefully that will come through. It's not showing up on either device that I'm live. If you are watching, would you please comment so that I'll know that I'm okay? Otherwise, I'm just going to plug ahead here. Today's card is using the Best Day stamp set. And this, it's this little fat cat in the cupcake that really caught my eye. It's one of the reasons I liked this stamp set. And it's the best day because it's your birthday. So we're going to use a retiring color. Thought what I need to do now is kind of focus on those retiring colors. This is Mango Melody. Probably not one of my go-to yellow, orangey colors. But the paper that we're using today is called Rain or Shine Specialty Paper. Can you see the shiny on it? It kind of has sparkly because it has some embossing. Oh yeah, you can see that really good when I move it back and forth. I bought the package of paper. I didn't buy the bundle, but now I'm going to turn around and buy the bundle because I know that it's going to be in the new catalog. Yay! I try sometimes these mini catalogs. It's sort of a guessing game. If you want to spend the money to have that bundle and then have it immediately retire in 3 months. So what they've done is they're going to separate it and not offer it as a bundle. Coordinating colors: Mango Melody, Old Olive, Flirty Flamingo, Cajun Craze, Balmy Blue, and Basic Black. So I have printed out a sheet of the retiring colors. I can send this to you in an email. It's a little easier to discern. Mango Melody. I'll just read them to you. Mary Merlot, because I know this is kind of small. I couldn't really get it much larger. Of course, Polish Pink, all of the 5 in colors for 2021 to 2023. So we're not surprised about that. Blushing Bride. Of the 2 pinks, Petal Pink and Blushing Bride, I like Blushing Bride the better, but there's a new pink coming out. Pale Papaya is one of the in colors. So Saffron. I really liked So Saffron. Pear Pizzazz, I didn't use it much. Mint Macaron. I'm going to miss Mint Macaron. Of course, soft succulent and evening evergreen are in colors that are retiring. Then Bermuda Bay. Oh, I'm going to be sad about Bermuda Bay. I didn't use it a lot, but I loved it in the summer. Pacific Point, unfortunately, it kind of got sandwiched between some colors, and I didn't use it much. Rich Razzleberry, I've used it a lot here more often. Sahara Sand and Soft Suede. I use those two a lot. But they've introduced some other earthy colors. Not going to try to explain that. What I wanted to focus on was the fact that those colors are retiring. And if there are some that you would like to have in your crafting supplies, you need to go ahead and get them, because they're while supplies last. And when they're gone, they're gone. So let's make a card. This card is pretty standard as far as the size goes. I didn't use a full sheet of the designer series paper. I cut it up and kind of made a little bit of a patchwork design on the front of the card, so I could use different pieces of the paper. I could see how pretty it is. I need my phone holder. Of course, the card is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You know, our paper is like that much wider than 8.5. So what I'll do is make that be the top, and it'll stick out just a little bit, but no one is going to really notice. I have a sheet for the inside, a liner. Of course, it's cut at a 1/4 inch smaller, 5.5 by 4. No, 5 1/4 by 4. And get our little sticky run on all the sides. I don't know why it's not picking up on my iPad or my phone. Let me go to my feed. See if it's hiding. Sometimes they hide. I'm not seeing it. Okay. How to center that. I'll decorate the inside of it after I've made the front. Oh, you know what? That was actually the front of the card. I'm shy. One layer. I think what I want to do is build this before I attach it to the card. So I've cut some pieces. They are 2 inches by 1 and a little over 3/4. And I went a little over 3/4, probably 7/16, because they weren't matching up quite the way I wanted. So before you stick them down, kind of lay them out. You want an even amount. This one is 3 by 1 7/8. And for this one, I'm going to use the raindrop part, just because it's pretty. And make sure that your stems are headed the right direction. So as you can see, side to side, I have a little bit more wiggle room than I have up and down as far as the amount of my mat. I call it a mat. I was a scrapbooker first, and this is what you did with pictures. You matted them. You use whatever color cardstock coordinated with whatever was going on. I have a little coffee there. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get brave and put some adhesive on this and get it stuck down. So I know that this stamp set is retiring because, you know, like I said, we know things as demonstrators. I posted a video today of the retiring colors and the new colors that are going to fill in, because it's not a secret. It's just you're not going to be able to order them until after May the 1st. We're going to be able to order them April the 4th, I believe, is when our pre-order starts. Alright, So if this is a stamp set that you kind of like, you could go ahead and get it now. And that retiring list, you maybe, if you had a chance to look at it, maybe notice that some of those things are on sale. They are maybe up to 60% off. I left the larger mat, and something's a little crooked, but in the middle, because this is going to cover a lot of that. I've tied some Pool Party, and no, that was not one of the coordinating colors, but it coordinates nicely even without actually being listed. Sometimes they do that because they call it the tonal quality. It's kind of the same. I think, if I remember right, this ribbon is probably retiring. A lot of times the embellishments, anything that coordinates with those end colors that are retiring are going to be out as far. And then the cardstock and the specialty, well, not specialty, the designer series paper. I will get it out in a minute. That coordinate with those end colors. All of that's going to retire. Any of the Stampin' Blends. So this, I kind of want it to lay down up and down this way. And you just have to fiddle with this crazy little thing. I probably need to retie it to make it lay down the way I want it to. Make a bigger loop. It's kind of like learning to tie your shoes. Sort of the same principle. The rabbit runs out of the hole, around the tree, and back in the hole. How many times did my daddy say that one? And that might not have even been for the bow that tied my shoes, because he was in the Navy, so he could tie fancy knots. They had to learn all that. That's part of being in the Navy, because when you tie things up, you did not want them getting loose. Alright, so now we're going to get to stamp. This is a big stamp, so it's on the E block. Another thing that they've told us about is that prices are some of them are gonna increase, and they're incremental. They're not humongous, but just know, that things are gonna go up. Everything in this world has gone up because the cost of doing business, the cost of the supplies. So don't be surprised. It's another reason you might want to go ahead and shop and get some things on your list now instead of waiting for the new catalog, because you'll pay a little more. I haven't had a whole lot of time. We had doctor's appointments and things, and I haven't gotten to look specifically to see what the price increases are. Okay, I'm going to do these a little bit different. I didn't really like I'm going to use this nib end of this Stampin' Blend, because I love Stampin' Blends. I think you've heard that many times. One of the cards we did in my card class, we actually used the markers. I'm like, that's silly. I have all those markers. I need to use them. There's my chicken. She's in the front flower bed. Silly little chicken. Her name is Peaches. Our chickens are named. They have personalities. Peaches is elderly in the chicken world. She's the oldest hen we have. We're not sure if she's still laying eggs or not, but it doesn't matter. She has earned her retirement. Coloring those little circles. Let's do some Rainy Apple Green. I don't think Pear Pizzazz. This is my parakeet. All of my blends are not in, they're not back home yet. They go out on these little trips. Let's see, what other colors does it coordinate? Balmy blue. I could do that. Cajun Crates. Flirty Flamingo. Was that what this one is? That's the dark. Yes. This is the light. Let's color this part. Because you know me, I always try to mix it up a little bit. Still not showing up on my iPad. So I hope if there's anyone commenting, I haven't missed your comment. I'm not trying to be rude. So this Stampin' Blend has been used a lot. So the very end of it now is splayed. I'm going to fill in what I can with it. And the reason I like the brushing, it usually covers more space. But as you can see, it's kind of struggling to color. Alright, let me switch then to the nib to touch it up and color a little closer. It's going to be really pretty. So, you know, these rainy days, this is the last day of March. And the old saying is, April showers bring May flowers. We've had a lot of showers in March. And the wind, oh my goodness, the wind. Okay, I think I'll do olive for the cake plate. Because this is a fancy cake and it's on a colored glass cake plate. That's my story. If you aren't on my email list, if you will comment or private message me to get on my email list, that is the best way to keep up with. You know, a lot of times I'll send out extra information that I don't necessarily discuss online. I try to coordinate it all, and to keep up with my classes. I have a class coming up on April the 14th. The deadline to sign up for that is next Wednesday. You have to sign up and pay. This is when you have to pay in advance because there's product involved. It's the Taco Fiesta. Of course, you know I'm from Texas, so I like my tacos. I love my Mexican food. I've had it this week. I think we've eaten twice, actually. Okay, let's do, this one is light pool party. What I'm going to do, though, is the dark pool party. Oh, is this pool party? It is dark pool party. So this color is staying. The pink one is called Bubble Bath. That's about the only name I remember. And I know the end colors are kind of earthy tones because that's what's popular right now. Stampin' Up! Works 2 years out on colors and products. I don't like the way those dots, they're not showing up dark enough. So to be on trend with the color selections 2 years out is amazing. Here we go. Okay. So all I have to do to that now is put some dimensionals on it. I think I like that pink better than the original design. I always like changing it up. Anyway, I was talking about the Taco Fiesta class. I diverged, sorry. If you would like more information about that, if you will comment. What is it doing? Go away. Yep. I will send you more information. That class is $35, but you get a lot of product. You'll get the PDF instructions, and I will do videos. And I need at least one more to sign up, ideally 3 more. I can't do it with only one person. So it can be, this would make a perfect to-go class. It's not just you have to come or go somewhere to do this class. I can totally mail it to you, and you can do it in the comfort of your home at your own, what did I hear? At your own pace. Well, let's decorate that. These 2022-24 in color matte decorative dots. Of course, they are retiring. These are the in colors for 2022-24. Let me see. They're not exactly the right colors, but I felt like it was not going too far outside of the box to make them work. See? Because we've got pink going on, we got some greens, we've got the pool party. Put that back away, out of our way. And now, I decided to just mount that flat and not put it on dimensionals. You know, I don't like a lot of layers. Makes it hard to mail them. Let's trim off our ribbon. And give this one a trim. So we'll get this part done, and then I'll show you what we did on the inside. Because you can't have a undecorated inside, especially on a birthday card. Mango Melody, it is going away. I have about half a package left. Pretty cute. Then we used this stamp, and it's like sparklers. Who likes sparklers? And I'm going to probably should have done it before I stuck it, but I can show you a trick. Huh, my coffee made a ring. If you don't want that little bit of black right there, you will put a post-it note. Then when you take it away, it stops right there. And so what I had them do is ever so gently color the middle with the coordinating colors that we used on the front of the card. Just to add a pop of color in there. I could have stamped those sparklers in a color, but the problem was going to be deciding what color to stamp them in. So sometimes you're better off just keeping it simple. And then our sentiment was in the stamp set. It's the best day because it's your birthday. Ta-da! And we have made our card from the Best Day stamp set. We've looked at that, we've looked at that, we talked about that. So that was all that I had for you today. I didn't want to take a whole lot of time. Just wanted to do one card. Wanted to show you what is going to be retiring so you could get on that. And if you need any help, just message me. You know, that's what I'm here for, to help you have a great experience crafting and making cards and just different projects, whatever strikes your fancy. So that's all for today. Hope to see you next time. Have a great day.